Hi there, welcome back. Still watching Market Fatafat on ET now. Before we keep it going with all the stocks that are buzzing, let's talk about the latest development on the political front. And after much uncertainty, NDA has nominated BJP MP Om Birla for the Lok Sabha Speaker post. It is understood that the BJP wants to maintain continuity for the Lok Sabha Speaker. But the interesting twist in the story is that Congress has also fielded their candidate K. Suresh for the post of Lok Sabha Speaker. Let's go across to my colleague Samir, who has the latest details on everything that's been happening on this front. Samir, take it away.
An interesting turn in the Indian politics. After many decades, the Lok Sabha Speaker post is going to be decided based on the voting or the elections. The trend suggests that so far, for many years, the Lok Sabha Speaker post has been decided based on the consensus amongst the political parties or the MPs. But the trend is going to be discontinued because for the Lok Sabha Speaker post, for 18th Lok Sabha, there are going to be two candidates. BJP has fielded Om Birla, who has earlier been Lok Sabha Speaker for the 17th Lok Sabha as well. Now he has been once again fielded by BJP as the candidate for the Lok Sabha Speaker post, and now Congress or India Alliance, they have also fielded K. Suresh as their candidate for the Lok Sabha Speaker post. So now there are two candidates for the Lok Sabha Speaker post, and on Wednesday at 11 a.m. the voting will take place and it will be decided that whoever gets the majority will be the Lok Sabha Speaker for the 18th Lok Sabha. So this trend or the interesting turn, because so far the consensus was the whole sole basis for deciding the Lok Sabha Speaker, but now Congress or the India Alliance, they have fielded their candidate K. Suresh, and this will pave the way for the voting or the elections for the speaker post. And also now you see that there has been multiple allegations that has been raised from both the sides, from the ruling party as well as from the opposition. From opposition, Rahul Gandhi, a senior Congress leader, has alleged that they were initially okay with Om Birla as the Lok Sabha Speaker, but they also came up with a solution that they want deputy speaker post, or the opposition want deputy speaker post, for which the ruling party was not favoring. They were not agreeing with this proposal, and that is the reason that the opposition, they came up with their candidate for the Lok Sabha Speaker post, whereas the ruling party or NDA leaders, they are alleging that Congress is now stooping low in politics and they are trying to dismantle the trust, the faith and the democratic values by fielding a candidate for the Lok Sabha Speaker post.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Samir. But let's get back with all the stocks that have been buzzing in trade on the back of news flows and technicals. And now on the technical front, we are joined by Chandan Taparia from Motilal Oswal. Chandan, very good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining in with us. And the first stock that you're picking is from the banking space. These stocks have been buzzing, and just right now, HDFC Bank has turned positive for the first time. YTD, 12-month rally in the last 12% rally in the last 1 month is what we're seeing, but Axis Bank is what you've picked out for us. So what's the word for Axis Bank here? How are you seeing it in terms of the move that one could be expecting? Last 1 month, 8 to 9% return. YTD also, Axis Bank has seen a better performance than HDFC Bank already. Do you think there's still room for a run-up?
So congrats, we are hitting new lifetime high in the market. Nifty is almost set for new high of 23,700 marks. It surpassed the previous high. And the good part is Bank Nifty is continuously outperforming from last 3 trading sessions, and Bank Nifty made a new lifetime high at 52,669 as of now. And we have noticed that selective banks are doing well and supporting the overall momentum in the market, including SDFC Bank, Axis Bank and ICICI Bank. So if I talk about the Axis Bank, it has given a consolidation breakout on daily chart. It has been making higher tops, higher bottom. Supports are gradually shifting higher. We have seen a better delivery on the trading volumes. If I look at year-on-year basis, the stock is performing well from last 4 years. We have seen a decent recovery on month-on-month basis and expecting short covering and better rollover to happen in the next month. So with the support of 1235, we are expecting a run-up towards 1310 in Axis Bank.
Alright, well, watch out for those levels on Axis Bank. Let's keep it going with all the big buzzers. And the next one I want to talk about today is Craftsman Automation, and that stock is soaring away in today's trading session. Now, this is on the back of an MOU that the company has signed with Sunbeam Lightweighting Solutions Private Limited and Kedara Capital Fund 2 LLP. The company has signed the MOU to acquire the whole or part of the business of Sunbeam, excluding certain specific assets situated in Gurugram. This acquisition could be done in one or more tranches, the exchange filing said, and the proposed transaction is contingent upon the completion of due diligence, approval from the Board of Craftsman Automation, and the execution of definitive documents and fulfillment of other customary legal requirements. Remember, the stock has snapped a 3-day losing streak post this move, and how, Vinny, because the stock is up 13% as we speak as of now.
Absolutely, and the highest level in almost 6 months is an intraday move we have seen for Craftsman, so it's interesting to watch out for that one. Let's move on and talk about Schaeffler. What is that doing today? So yes, now Schaeffler India, obviously they're into that motion technology company is what they focus on, but the company has announced the launch of an innovative planetary gear system, and this is from Schaeffler Hauser plant, which will they be focusing on. The solution is specifically designed to have a detected hybrid transmission that will be focusing on in terms of vehicles in India. This is an innovative product maker as a significant step mainly towards the Indian automotive sector, aligning it with the government's Make in India initiative, so more focus on that front as well. And that is why we're seeing Schaeffler India managing to hold on to some bit of a gain of 1% or 2% in trade as of now.
All right, well, let's move on. Before that, let's quickly take a look at what Nifty is doing, because we're very, very close to 23,700, just almost 10 points away, kissing distance away from 23,700. Scaling new highs is where the Nifty is as of now. So we'll keep a close eye, very close eye on Nifty and what it does in the next half an hour or so. But let's move on and Gaurav, talk to us about a stock that everybody has been talking about since morning, and that is Bandhan Bank. Give us more details on this latest move by the RBI when it comes to Bandhan Bank.
Bandhan Bank is definitely in focus, because if you look at the stock's performance for the last 1 month, since yesterday, till yesterday, the stock had performed almost 10% in a 1 month period. But if we talk about today's stock performance, it is down 1.8%. And the reason being that RBI has now appointed Mr. Arun Kumar Singh, who was the Chief General Manager of RBI, as an additional direction of Bandhan Bank. Now, the reason for this approval is basically because of the succession plan that Bandhan Bank may require, because the founder, MD and CEO Mr. Chandrasekhar Ghosh will end his tenure on 9 July, while the bank is yet to appoint its next CEO. Now, if you look at the analysts, how they are reading this, the move seems to be positive for the long term when we talk about bank's performance, but in near term, we may see some price reaction, which could be negative. And the reason being that if you look at some of the last instances as well, we have seen the same move coming up in the bank like Yes Bank and RBL Bank. In terms of RBL Bank, if we have to specifically look at this, when RBI appointed external director in RBL Bank, the stock actually reacted negatively for 6 months. Now, of course, there were other factors as well, but on back of this news, we will definitely watch out on what happens in Bandhan Bank as well.
Okay, surely keeping an eye out on Bandhan Bank, but let's move on to the next stock. And Snehi, you're going to talk to us about Hitachi Energy. What's the update coming in on this front today?
Well, absolutely, Vinith, on the back of an order win, that's why Hitachi Energy has been buzzing today. It was up almost 3.5% in the initial trading hours, but as of now, you can see it has fizzled out all of those gains. But nonetheless, positive news flow coming in. It has bagged an order worth 790 crore from its fellow subsidiary Hitachi Energy Australia Private Limited towards the execution of the project Marinus Link. Now, this Marinus Link voltage source converter is a high voltage direct current, and that links Tasmania and Victoria. The company will supply certain equipment for the execution of this project, and also of the Burnie converter station, the Latrobe Valley converter station, and more when it comes to this project. The order is estimated to be executed over the next 4 years. So on the back of this order win, the stock was doing pretty well, but as of now, slightly tempered in today's trade.
Let's move on to the next one, and we had PVR Inox that was also managing to hold on to gains in the morning. That was almost 1-2% the last time I checked. Mainly what we're talking about PVR Inox, we do have a note that's come in from Nuvama, but what we are highlighting is also the box office collections. Now, box office collection in Q1 was the lowest so far in the last 10 quarters that one saw coming in. Mainly there was heat wave, election, cricket, IPL, everything was going on, as well as weak content. These were the factors which impacted Q1. Now, there are big releases that are lined up, but this week also the expectation is that a ranking of opening for Kalki will be around 100 crores. Hollywood releases are expected to pick up in FY25, and that is something interesting that one should be watching out for. As of now, when you're looking at it in terms of PVR, what Nuvama is also doing, they've reiterated the buy, maintained their target price at 1,995 rupees per share. So interesting to watch out for where PVR will move on from here on. Q1 was a bit subdued, but expectations are that Q2 and onwards one would start seeing an improvement.
All right, so that's PVR Inox in trade for you today. But Chandan, I'm going to come back to you for technicals. You earlier picked out Axis Bank. Now you have SBI on your radar. Shifting from private to PSUs, what's your view when it comes to SBI? Last 6 months, roughly 32-33% uptick is what this stock has shown. So, what are the next levels that you are penciling when it comes to SBI?
Yeah, so view is loud and clear that market is hitting to the new high, scaling to the new record. Bank Nifty is supporting well. We have seen a decent run up, and Bank Nifty is all set to head towards 53,000, 53,500. We believe that private bank could do well, but PSU may find the support based buying. And in PSU, we like SBI. It has been consolidating in a range from last 12 trading session, but multiple supports are visible near 820. So with the support of 820, SBI can take the lead to head towards 885, 890 zone from current level.
Keep an eye on those levels over there, and moving on to the next stock that we should be talking. Okay, Nifty, new record high levels. That's what is coming in there. 23,700 is what the Nifty has already scaled past. So keeping an eye on that mark. 23,702 currently around that mark is what the Nifty is trading at. New highs for the Nifty, picked up momentum through the day, and we've seen it touching that 23,700 mark, 0.7% of uptick that one is watching out for. Banks clearly leading the gains. Right now, Chandan was also highlighting that how, banks is something that he's positive on. HDFC Bank, SBI is what he's already highlighted. And in the pullers in the market, also it's the private banks that's leading. So we have ICICI, HDFC Axis, and Reliance that has come up in the list, as well as L&T that is managing to pull up the markets as of now, and the Nifty. So yes, keep an eye on this 23,700 level, first time ever for the Nifty 50 record high levels. But let's move on and keep it going with more stocks. Gaurav, CAMS, why is that in focus?
In focus because now Motilal Oswal has reiterated its buy rating and a target price of 4,200 on this stock. What they believe is that CAMS actually has so many triggers to seize future opportunities for mutual fund business, which actually contributes around 87% of its portfolio and its revenue. They believe that in 2024, FY24 only, CAMS has won all 3 new AMC merchandise, and with this they have now 62% of the market share. CAMS Pay already crossed 1.4 million users, and when we talk about non-mutual fund side also, which contributes around 13% of the revenue, the company has collaborated with Microsoft India to steer digital transformation, and on back of this, now they are expecting revenue to grow almost with the CAGR of 15%, while PAT may grow with a CAGR of 20%, and that is why they are being bullish on this stock. Talking about the stock performance, it was up almost by 3% when the day started, but now it has settled for a gain of 1%, so definitely watching out on CAMS.
Surely keeping an eye on CAMS, and also just let's mark the Sensex, also 78,000 for the first time on the Sensex as well. So yes, Nifty, Sensex both managing to reach those new highs, 78,000 and 23,700 for the Sensex, Nifty respectively, keeping an eye out on that. But with that, we're going to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere, more stocks after the break.
Hi there, welcome back. Still watching Market Fatafat on ET. Now let's keep it going with all the big buzzers in today's trading session. And the next stock that I want to talk about today is Alkem Labs. And that stock is buzzing not because of one reason, Winnie, but because of 2 reasons. The first one is a block deal, and the second one is action coming in from the US FDA. Let's take a look at both of those reasons one at a time. Now, shares worth 117.8 crore rupees have changed hands in the block deal at the opening bell today, and around 3.6 lakh shares changed hands in the block deal window at 4,956 rupees per share. So that's one of the one reasons why this stock is abuzz as of now. That was the block deal, but let's also take a look at what the US FDA has done. What's the latest on that front? The US FDA has issued an Establishment Inspection Report, which is the EIR report, for the manufacturing unit of Alkem Labs at Baddi, and the inspection has been classified as voluntary action indicated and has been closed accordingly. So on the back of both of these news flows, the stock is holding up 1.3% higher as we speak.
Okay, let's move on and talk about Vodafone Idea. We have Ambit that has come out with a note. They've upgraded the stock to a buy. This is the second buy rating that has actually come in for Vodafone Idea. Target price is 21 rupees per share. They believe that the struggle is over for them in terms of the last decade that they saw. Now those struggles are easing out. Network upgrades won't be constrained just because of the funding. Subscriber decline has been arrested, and in FY25 that's the expectation that they have, followed by an improvement that one could start seeing over here. Government and investors are expected to continue with the equity support, is what Ambit is highlighting, and that is why they are upgrading the stock to a buy. Vodafone Idea as of now trading at 17 rupees from the day's lowest point. At one point of time, it was trading in the red. It's recovered from there, so 0.4% of uptick right now for Vodafone Idea.
All right, so let's move on. And Chandan, let's talk about technicals on Granules. That's the stock you've picked out for us. So when I'm looking at the charts, 1 year that stock is higher by 70%, and even for the 6-month move, the stock is higher by roughly 25%. So what are the next levels and upside, if any, that you are indicating or pointing out for Granules on the charts?
Yeah, so we have seen good surge in the counter in last 1 month. It's up by around 18% on monthly basis, up by around 22%. So major move happened in this month, and we have seen a breakout which clearly indicates that first leg of rally could be there. However, sector is not performing. That's why it's slightly moving slow, but major trend is intact, and we believe that till it holds above 480, it can head towards 520, 530 marks on higher side.
Not on that level for Granules over there, but let's move on. Gaurav, talk about TVS supply chain. Why is this stock in focus? What's the update here today?
Yes. TVS supply chain is in focus because as per sources now company is in talk with another EV player for a contract. Now this contract is for a supply chain management obviously for TVS, and it is said that EV player which the company is in talk with is amongst the top 3 largest player in India. Now if we talk about the company recently won a contract, 5-year contract with Daimler Truck AG on 11 June, and if you look at the stock performance on that day, the next day the stock went up almost more than 4%. So talking about this, now that the buzz is that the company may be talking with another company for supply chain management, if you look at the stock performance, it is up 1.3%. So definitely watching out on TVS supply chain.
All right, so that's the latest coming on TVS supply chain. But let's also talk about Vishnu Prakash at Punglia. That stock has been doing pretty well, and the company has been selected as the chosen contractor for a new project from the Public Works Department from Sarwana, which is in Bicholim in Goa. Now the project includes the construction of 15 MLD, which is megaliters of water per day, the water treatment plant at Molim and Satari, including the construction of reservoirs, providing and laying of rising main and conveying mains in the village panchayats around this area. So on the back of that, the stock did pretty well when the announcement came up. You can see a slight bit of a spike on the charts, but as of now has fizzled out slightly and trading with an uptick of almost 0.8%.
Okay, surely keeping an eye on that. Let's move on and Gaurav, talk about Intellect Design Arena. Why is that in focus?
Now the company has announced partnership with Vancity, which is Canada's largest community credit union, for the next 7 years. Now Vancity will use the Intellect's digital engagement platform for retail and SME digital experience, along with the contextual banking experience for commercial digital experience. Now if you look at Vancity, they have over 5.7 lakh members and around $35.5 billion under their asset under administration. Vancity is set to redefine its digital landscape with the help of this company's partnership with Intellect Design Arena. And talking about the stock performance also, it has reacted positively. It is up 1.2%. In the morning it was up more than 3%. So definitely watching out on what happens in Intellect Design.
Alright, so that's the view coming in on Intellect Design. In fact, that's the latest news flow. But Chandan, you have picked out BEL for us on the technical chart. So when I'm looking at the chart from a 6-month perspective, a 71% up move. So that's quite the move coming in the last 6 months itself. Are you penciling in any more room for growth, or which direction do you think this stock is headed in? What are you seeing on the charts?
We are quite positive on the Nifty CPSC, most of the defense and shipping name. Positive on the BL, HL, in fact Paras, an old name. So talking about BL, one of the strongest name in the market, rallied by more than 69% in this year, continuously making high tops, high bottom on monthly scale, but has been consolidating from last couple of days. I believe a small follow-up can see the fresh leg of rally, which can extend the move by 8 to 10%. So one can buy with support of 300. We are expecting a target towards 323 and then 350 zone from current levels.
Support of 300 and targets of 320 and upwards coming in for BEL. So those are the levels to watch out for when it comes to BEL. But let's talk about an entire group of stocks, Winnie, and let's talk about the QSR space. And you have names like Westlife Brands, Restaurant Brands Asia, Jubilant Foods, all buzz in today's trading session. And this is on the back of a note coming in from CLSA this morning. And in their channel check, they say that in smaller cities, it is indicated increased competition is what they're seeing. Prices have remained largely similar to March, barring a few local pizza chains which have cut prices when it comes to the entire pizza segment. Now, growth in pizzas has been slow when compared with North India and South India food options. Pizza is the slowest growing category as per Zomato trends, but Jubilant growth has been even slower. So you can see Jubilant Foodworks on the back of this slight bit of a commentary is slightly under pressure, 1.5% lower. For Burger King, which is Restaurants Brand Asia, they say that they had a low share of overall ratings due to its stores being newer, and Burger King's share in incremental ratings, which was high, and it gives the early signs of a catch-up happening in the average daily sales. So you also have Restaurants Asia that is on your screen. Trading low by 0.8%. They've maintained a sell rating on Jubilant as well as Westlife and a buy rating on Burger King, which is Restaurants Asia. So that's the note coming in from CLSA on the entire QSR space.
Okay, and let's move on. And Chandan, you picked out Indian hotels for us. What is the view on Indian hotels? This stock also has seen a decent run up over the last couple of years. So what's the view now?
Yeah, I believe this strength will continue. Major trend is positive. It has been making high tops, high bottom. So with support of 642, we are expecting this rally to extend towards 685, 690 zone.
Alright, so on that note, we're at the end of talking about all the stocks that were abuzz in today's trading session. Osho, Gaurav as well as Chandan, thanks so much for joining us today. We'll let you go on that note. But in the pre-budget meeting, RIL's Ajay Sardana, the representative of the Indian Chamber of Commerce, has raised concerns over the impact of Chinese dumping on domestic industries. Let's go across and listen into what he had to say.
So we had a very nice meeting with the finance minister. All key officials of finance ministry were there. So what we have highlighted is the pain points what industry is facing, the threat from China and other points. So Honorable Minister has given us a very patient hearing, and they will be considering and evaluating all the proposals given by Indian Chamber of Commerce. So I would say it was a very nice meeting, and we could explain our points to Honorable Minister and the key officials of the finance ministry. And we are very hopeful that the corrective steps or whatsoever the anomalies or request of the industry is there, that will be considered by the Honorable Finance Minister.
Okay, and we have a lot of budget wish list that's coming in as well. But listening to what Ashwini Kumar, FIIO President, as well as NASSCOM's Ashish Agarwal, Vice President and NASSCOM, had to say in terms of their budget expectations or wish list that they have. And it's a goodbye from Snehi, myself, as well as the team who put this show together.
We have requested to increase the rate of subvention, rate of interest subvention to what exporters are getting for 3%, which is only expiring on 30th of June. We have requested to Minister to extend it to another 3 years, and with the increased rate of interest, because the repo rate has increased by 2.1%. And second, we have requested to have our own shipping lines, and which is we are paying already $80 million to foreign companies to export the goods. If Indian Shipping Corporation of India or shipping companies should be added to the foreign companies, we will save foreign exchange in India. Third, we have said to increase MAI scheme. This is Market Assistance Fund, which is for MSMEs, so that MSMEs should grow and to participate in international events. Moreover, research and development should be looked into, and research and development fund we have asked for the 500 crore rupees, so that small industry should work.
I think that we are looking at is to enhancing the scope of the safe harbor regime to increase the threshold from 200 crores in international transaction to at least 2,000 crore, so that more and more companies, especially the global capability centers, can take benefit of the safe harbor. Second, what we have found is that our safe harbor margin rates range from 17, 18 to 24%. On a global comparison, this is very high. Globally, these similar services are under transfer pricing are taxed between 5 to 10%. So we want our rates to be aligned closer to this. And finally, from an ease of doing business, we have advanced pricing agreements. These agreements take 4 to 5 years to conclude. This is a lot of time, and I think Ministry is working on it. Our submission to the Ministry is that renewal applications can be fast-tracked and the APA mechanism can be strengthened so that for our industry, this can be ease of doing business.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.